As Tom's having a difficult time in the studio this morning getting mic'd up, let's talk about the weather. 68 degrees out there already. Should be another scorcher. JC?
Another scorcher's right. Heading into 4th of July celebration coming up here. What? 4th of July is a week from 2 weeks from today, isn't it? I'll be here next week. I won't be here the week of the 4th, taking my last week off before the holidays. Seth joins us this morning. Tom in here. Seth, what's up?
I live in the dream.
Living the dream. Business still good?
Oh, yeah, it's wonderful. And you're talking about this weather. I love this weather.
Me too.
This is one of those times when you go outside at night and you're not freezing to death, and I like that.
Laying out on a trampoline, looking at the stars?
Yeah, that's what I did last night. It was great. I laid out there, looked up at the stars. Just good time to think and
reflect.
Especially when you live in the middle of nowhere. Nobody's going to bother you.
And Tom, how are you?
I'm good.
All right, we got a lot of stuff to talk about this morning. You know, Frank is on the phone too, 230-4988. Don Simons may be with us this morning. Depends on how busy he is over at Simons Jewelers over at the corner of Bob Wallace. And hopefully he'll be here later on this morning. Johnny D's, I think, is down at the Southern Baptist Convention in New Orleans. We'll talk about that a little bit. This morning, Gloria said, what do you want for breakfast? I said, why don't you try some of those, fry some of those green tomatoes. I figured, well, she'll fix something else and they'll have these green tomatoes with it. Well, this is all we had.
Well,
there she is right now. This is before the show this morning. Believe it or not, yeah, that's her fried. Seth, I know that's fried food, but real fried food don't hurt you every now and then.
Oh, no, a little bit of anything won't hurt you, but too much water and you'll drown.
But sugar, cooking this morning right here on the set. Now, coming up tomorrow.
Notice what I had for breakfast. I don't guess Brad got that. I had yogurt and peaches, while you had fried green tomatoes.
Much better.
Uh-huh.
I can't eat that stuff all the time. I'm a growing boy. I kind of have. Give me some fried food. Every time we go over to Florence and eat over at the Legends over there with my buddy Keith Davis, I'm always getting turnip greens, fried okra, and pintos.
Ugh. Sounds good.
Fried okra is one of the best things on earth. If y'all would like to donate some to the cause, I got to give a shout out this morning to Greg Crow's mama, Eloise. She's selling tomatoes out on New Cut Road. Frank's going out there today to pick us up about 50 pounds. No. So, Ellen and Eloise and Joe Crow, give me some tomatoes. Right, Frank?
Right.
All right, and you say how much are they?
$1.25 a pound.
$1.25 a pound.
Be ready tomorrow.
Tomorrow. All right, pick that up. Hey, speaking of tomorrow, Shut Up joins us back tomorrow. We'll be talking some football. I'm sure he'll be talking about LSU. Lip-smacking, jaw-jacking Jeff Matthews returns. He'll be cooking up a storm tomorrow. And sports director Bama Zach, the Green Light Sports, will be here with us tomorrow, too. Fill us in on everything that's happening. We'll talk more about green tomatoes, some other things we got cranking this morning. Here's Gloria with the weather, because, yes, it's going to continue. And today is not the longest day of the year, first day of summer.
Well, so everybody should have a full day planned today and enjoy the longest day of the year, first day of summer. That actually doesn't start until 6 p.m. though. But right now, 68 degrees out there. We are going to see much of what we saw yesterday. I really hate doing weather because there's not a lot to talk about at all. Just expect to see what you saw yesterday for the next several days. High temperatures around 92. Tomorrow, your high of 93. The rest of the forecast, we may even see 97, 98. Look at that for Sunday. Thursday, maybe a little bit of clouds out there. Thursday should be a fabulous day. Expect heat to continue. It could be 2 weeks before rain re-enters the forecast, experts say. It's been a week since Decatur has seen rainfall, and it could be yet another 2 weeks. Just hot, dry weather is expected to stay through June, with temperatures climbing to 99 and possibly no rain in sight.
Seth, we were just chatting with you before the show. Here we're talking about our little dog in there. He's such a delight to be around. Took him to a hospital meeting yesterday after the chamber meeting. But your little brother Brett's getting hitched over in Rogers this Saturday.
Yeah, we'll be over there at my parents' church. Well, I don't guess it's their church. I guess it's Jesus' church. But we'll be over there, and we'll be selling product at the church to pay for the wedding.
But now, when I visited with him last week, when I dropped in over there to check us out on Uverse, he was telling me they're going to Hawaii to get married. And I said, well, you still living in Athens? He said, no, I moved. I got too many animals. He says he's got some big old dog, weigh about 180 pounds, but he's got 2 birds. Tell us about that one bird he's got. This is funny.
I don't know if y'all know about birds. I don't know a whole lot about them, but he's got this thing called a macaw.
Yeah.
And this thing is huge. it is like an eagle in his house, and it flies around the house. And one day, I go over there to watch a ball game, and I'm like, I'll hang out with little brother. We'll go over there. Well, as soon as you knock on the door, this thing slams against the door. It's like, oh my gosh! And I was like, well, that'd be all right. Well, I'm in the house, and I'm sitting there watching the game, and all of a sudden this thing flies, and it lights on my shoulder. Now, it has these claws the size of my hands that dig into my shoulder, and I look at it, and it goes, what are you doing here? Oh my God, Rick, get this thing off of me. It looks like it's going to tear my eyeball out.
You mean the bird looks at you, and they will peck you in the eye.
They peck you everywhere. They'll go through your hair. It's crazy.
This bird actually sits on your shoulder and says, what are you doing here?
What are you doing here?
Had a heart attack.
And I mean, it's like he's trained it to say these little things, and that's the main thing it says, what are you doing here? And you've never been so uncomfortable in your life. This bird standing here looking me dead in my face like I'm in his house. What are you doing here?
Can you get him on the show?
No.
Yeah, bring him up here. We'll put him over.
I will bring
Hey, don't forget, today is Wednesday, 10% off down at Herbs and More. If you mention anything about the program today, right across from 60th anniversary Clem Tire, right there on Highway 70. I guess we're still doing that 10% off on
Yes, sir.
All right. So get by there and enjoy that. Now, when is it y'all do 30% off?
And we do that the first Monday of each month. There's 30% off all products in the store but nutritional health care. Heck, I'd have to pay you to take them if we did that.
Still got Dyer's Light?
Yes, sir.
All right, we'll talk more about that in just a little bit. Hey, speaking of getting stuff at a good deal, gas, how low will it go, Tom? Alabama gas prices reached $3.80 a gallon, as we all remember back in March. Right now, the average right now in Alabama is $3.16 statewide. With it, and down in Auburn, it's down to $2 and something. It says right here, cheapest gas Tuesday was $3.03 at Wally World on Point Mile Drive, but in Auburn and other parts, it's dropped below $3 a gallon.
Auburn is good for something.
Yeah, $3 a gallon. Watch it, Brad's Auburn out back in the back. Hey, speaking of Auburn, Updike's trial jury started yesterday. Updike confesses to a student reporter that, yes, he did poison the trees. Then he asked the reporter not to use that. Oh yeah. How'd that go, Frank?
Yeah.
Harvey Updike's parent confession to a student newspaper reporter during a break in court Tuesday threw a wild twist into the first day of the trial. Did I do it? Yes, said Updike. Reportedly told Andrew Young, a reporter with Auburn Plainsman. And then he says, after the confession, the reporter said to Updike, ask him to not use that, quote. Updike's wife said, of course he's going to use it. He's been taking notes. Then probably said, you idiot.
No kidding.
One of them's got heard that.
Hey, man, what are you in prison for? I poisoned 2 trees that are still alive, by the way. But anyway, it did say, important, Updike came to court cleanly shaven, wearing a gray shirt, dark tie, and khaki pants, Tom, unlike past appearances in court where there was no hint of crimson in Updike's wardrobe.
Does that mean he can't plead insanity?
He was smart, he was. Oh, let's go ahead. While we're on the subject of trials and sports this morning, let's talk about Sandusky's right quick. Let me update y'all on this Wednesday morning. The defense called his wife, Dottie Sandusky, who naturally says, well, she'd never heard of him doing anything like that. She'd never heard any of these boys scream down in the basement as they're being molested.
They wanted to stay in the basement.
They wanted to stay, that's right, and goes on to say, he'd always go down to the basement and wish the boys a good night.
Oh, yeah. That's like staying in Michael Jackson's house for fun.
Was the basement soundproof?
Yeah. No, it wasn't soundproof.
Found guilty.
Psychologists said Sandusky suffers personality disorder.
When did pedophile become a disease?
Jerry Sandusky has a personality disorder that might explain, quote, the creepy letters he sent to one of his accusers, according to a psychologist.
Yeah, guilty conscience.
Well, I've got a creepy personality disorder, too.
You're talking about you?
Yeah.
It's something we need to know.
Yeah, I enjoy sex with my wife.
Is that creepy?
No, but I mean, it's as good as this right here. He enjoys sex with little boys. People with this disorder often interact with people in inappropriately seductive ways and don't feel comfortable unless they're the center of attention. I told you I had that. I told you I had that.
Yes.
Well, I promise you, if he ever got around my son, he would not have to worry about his disorders.
Hang on to that thought. Well, I've got another story. I'm glad that's why I set you up for this. Often these are people who did not have as much success in relationships, emotional, romantic, that they should have had in life, according to his attorney.
Ain't my problem.
Wow.
Who cares?
Tom,
That's just an excuse to try to find a way to get them off of
I got some other things we're talking about in a minute. Seth, you set me up on this story. Y'all may have heard about this. I saw it on Fox News yesterday afternoon. This is in Texas. Dad will not be charged in beating death. Have you heard about this?
Good.
A young Texas father who beat to death with his fist a man molesting his 5-year-old daughter will not be charged, as they released a dramatic 911 tape of the dad frantically pleading to send help before the man died.
Wow.
They declined to indict the 23-year-old father in the death of Jesus Moral Flores, 47, who was killed June 9 on a family ranch so remote that the father heard profanely screaming at a dispatcher who couldn't locate the property. He walks in, catches this 47-year-old guy with his hand down the pants of his 5-year-old daughter. He beats the man to death with his fist.
As he should have.
As you would
Here was they did a thing on yesterday legally. Had this man, they thought about going to the grand jury. Had he let the man found out about it, went and got a gun, and came back in later, killed him, it would have been vigilante justice, and he stood a chance on getting convicted.
This way premeditated.
Back to you, Seth. If you found somebody molesting your son David,
careful what you say.
What would be left of them?
There would be nothing left. That's why I live where I live. I live in the middle of nowhere for a reason. If you come on my property, you will not leave if you do something of that nature. That's why it's mine. I have a sign when you pull up that says you're in range. I mean that.
I don't
But I mean, Tom, the same with Mac. I mean, a father's got to protect his kids.
That's correct.
But beat this guy to death with a fist now.
Yeah.
But then felt bad and called 911 to try to
save the guy. But I mean,
well, that's just
there's where the difference comes in. I would have been like, y'all check this out. I just did something cool. You know,
I just beat to death. This guy's over here molesting my son or daughter.
Well, he asked for it. You cannot. It would be like walking around asking someone to slap you. If you get slapped, you can't say anything. You asked for it. This man came in there and intentionally did something. No, he had to know that there was going to be repercussions for his actions if caught.
He's 47.
Knew it was wrong.
Doesn't matter how old he is.
But I think it's kind of funny. What was his name?
Flores.
Jesus. So he went to meet Jesus.
Yeah. But anyway, and back to the Sandusky thing. As I said last week on the Sandusky thing, kill yourselves. I mean, come on. Let's get it over with. Yeah. If this guy is found, and he could get out of this, by the way, because most of the jurors have a direct contact with Penn State.
But that would be so awful. Will they say what juror did
eventually it will come out.
How awful that would be for that person.
This guy never should see the light of day again, and there's probably not one person of the 2 or 3 million watching this morning that would disagree with that.
There's a lot of evidence against him.
No, they wouldn't disagree.
Well, let's see if the
good seeing you yesterday at the chamber thing over there. I'd like to give a shout out to my U.S. best buddies, Steve Smith across the road, and Jeff Hodges over at the bank. We just like that.
Steve was funny yesterday.
Yeah, that was fun over there yesterday. Let me remind y'all what's coming up in Athens. I know Ronnie talked about it yesterday, and they'll all be back with us. We do our barbecue cookout show coming out a week from tomorrow. Hopefully Joey Boyd's going to be joining us again, spending all night and cooking. Independence Day fireworks show, as Ronnie said yesterday, will be Saturday, June 30th. That'll be a week from this Saturday. They'll have that at the high school. July 1st, they want you to pause for 1 minute of silent prayer at noon for all of our military. Former Mayor Dan Williams, representative, will be reading the Declaration of Independence on his radio show that Monday. Guess he couldn't get a guest that day, so he couldn't do that. Free movie, National Treasure, 11:30, and then July 4th, the Alabama Veterans Museum opens. So they got all that going on the week of the 4th of July. So anything else, Seth, we need to know before we cut you loose and talk about
days.
Oh, wait a minute, we got some photos. We're going to do those now, we're going to do them later.
Yeah, you can, if you want.
We'll do them later. We'll do the photos coming up at 6:30. I was just kind of don't forget, Wednesday's 10% off right down the road. Herbs and More still cranking it out. Dieters Delight down that way by the truckloads. That stuff works, got to tell you. Hey, I'll take a break. When we come back, we'll talk about some photos we took yesterday down at Walmart, our favorite place to go hang out and feel good about ourselves.
You act like you're campaigning for something.
Got a shout out to Tracy Crow this morning. Ran into her yesterday. Corey, she was talking about you yesterday. Wasn't good. All right, we'll take a break. Be right back. Y'all hang on.